Hello class, this is a video tutorial on the area of a circle. Well, the formula for the area of a circle is given as follows. It's as simple as area equals pi times the radius squared. In case we don't know, pi is a special value, or just as a reminder, pi is given as a special value of 3.14159, and this decimal actually never ends. For most scientific calculators, I'll show you where it's found. It's almost always found near the bottom here as that little yellow, that second function there. In order to access that button, you need to press shift and then press pi. When you press equals, most calculators will give a value, which is for, even though it stops here, 3.14159, 265359, there's actually more decimal places, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. However, we're just going to use this this value given in our calculator. Let's begin with a few examples. So here we have a circle with radius 4. So making it very simple, I like to write r equals 4, and it's just a matter of using that formula for this circle. So we write down a equals pi times 4 squared. Now we can do this very simply in our heads, right? And I'm going to show you something what's known as exact form. What we can do is multiply 4 squared. So we just evaluate this first. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which gives us 16. And we just leave it as exact form like this. This is what's known as exact form. The reason for this is when we multiply the value 16 times pi, we will get decimal places that will never end, which is what I will be doing now. So we get 16 times pi equals, and we get 50.265, put little dots here, indicating there are more decimal places. And let's just round this off to 2 decimal places here. So we get 50.26. Well, since the 5 bumps that up to the next number, it becomes 7. And since the units are in centimeters, which I'll put it in centimeter squared, since we're calculating area. That's just one example I went through pretty extensively. Let's just move on to our next example here. We have a circle with a diameter of 12. Now the reason why I always indicate why I'd like to know the radius is that way I don't accidentally use this value of 12. Well, since 12 is the value that goes all the way across, that's the diameter, the radius is half the diameter, so half of 12 is 6 meters. That's the value I will be using. Let's use that value. A equals pi times 6 squared, which gives me 6 times 6 is 36 pi, and using that value, 36 times pi gives me 113.097 ... and rounding it off to 2 decimal places, or however many decimal places you like to choose. I always pick 2, 113 points. Since we're going to round this up, it becomes 10 meters. Oh, yep, meters squared. One more example here. Here we are. Once again, we're given the radius, so radius is equal to 8.4. Using that value, A equals pi times 8.4 squared. Now, this time, I'm just going to show you that you don't need to take the step that I showed here, this exact form. You can just input this straight into your calculator, pi, pi bracket 8.4 squared. When you press equals, it'll give you the value straight away. So we'll just skip straight to the end. 22,221.670. Let's round that off to 2 decimal places. Millimeters squared. Moving right along with more examples. Here we are. So this time we're not given any drawing whatsoever. However, we are told that we have a circle with a radius of 5, which makes it a lot easier even though there isn't a drawing, because all we actually need is the radius. So here we go, we get area equals pi times 5 squared. We are able to do this very easily. 5 times 5, 25 pi. And using our calculators for this, 25 times pi will give us 78539. So 78.539. Rounding it off to two decimal places. 4 centimeters squared. A few more here. Once again, we're told the diameter this time, but because it's a diameter, we need to find the radius. So the diameter is twice the radius. So in order to find the radius from this value, we need to halve 15. You can do that in your head. So we get 7.5 kilometers. In case you don't know that, 15 divided by 2 gives us 7.5. So area equals pi times 7.5 squared. This time, using our calculator, we can just do it like so. 7.5 squared. We get 56.25 pi. Multiplying that value times pi gives me 176.714. And once again, rounding it off, kilometers squared. One last example. Circle with radius 9 millimeters. This is very straightforward now since we are told the radius. So area equals pi times 9 squared. 9 squared is 81 pi. 81 times pi gives us 254.469. And rounding this off, millimeters squared. So I hope that gave you an insight into calculating the area of a circle using the area formula of pi r squared. Best of luck.